Hello, welcome to my channel Travel and Treks with Nandagopal. Basically today I'm making a small presentation to share my feedback and findings of my recent trip which I did to Prayagraj. I just did this from between 12 to 15 where I covered Kashi and then Prayagraj and Ayodhya. Okay, so today's video is going to be mainly on Maha Kumbh 2025 tips at Prayagraj. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people have already traveled and they all have their own experiences, but also every time somebody travels they have something new, right? So I would try to pen some of the experiences what I found, and so I'm sure that will be useful to people who are actually waiting to travel right now. Another few more days to go for the Maha Kumbh to end, which is on 26th of February, which is a Shivaratri day. But I'm sure so many people are waiting to travel, and this particular tips would be useful. If you like this video, please give a like and share this video with your families and friends, and then subscribe to my channel in case if you haven't subscribed till now. Thank you. So let's get into it. So going to Maha Kumbh, basically there are multiple options irrespective of which part of the country you are, right? By road, by rail and by air. Each of them have some benefits and at the same time disadvantages. So by road, obviously we have an extensive network of roads and also some super highways right now thanks to Mr. Nitin Gadkari, right? But then the point is, if you're going to travel long distances and then it can be tiresome. At the same time, as you near Prayagraj, so let's say you're going from south, let's say you're entering Madhya Pradesh, or from other side from north, right? So as you enter Prayagraj, please expect definitely a lot of roadblocks, diversions and so on and so forth, so which is going to delay your travel considerably. So that could really put a lot of strain on your system, right? So that's why road journey is good, but then at the same time be clear in terms of the expectations, because you will definitely get a lot of roadblocks and diversions as you approach the place which is Prayagraj city. Okay, by rail obviously again is another cheaper option, but then there are a lot of special trains which have been which are running right now from Indian Railways. But then, as you would have seen all the news and whatnot, they are supremely overcrowded and there are not even place to stand or sit. It is so crowded, and then in fact people who have reserved tickets also have no option of getting a reserved ticket, because everyone is just crowding inside. And then of course we saw some of the stations where people have started throwing stones and breaking the windows to get in. So this is the scenario as far as Indian Railways traffic is concerned right now to Prayagraj Maha Kumbh, because it's over too many people traveling, and that's putting a lot of strain on the system. So I think you need to be clear whether you want to go with this option. But the last option is the by air, which is relatively stress free, though it's expensive, and then in some places it's exorbitant really. For example, the ticket what I went through Air India Express to Prayagraj cost 40,000 rupees. I mean, that's crazy, right? Crazy price. Actual price is about 5,000 to 7,000 rupees, but today we are actually being asked to pay 40,000 to 50,000 rupees as the air ticket to Prayagraj and back, right, from Bangalore. So that's the challenge. But then if somebody can afford an air ticket and want a little hassle-free travel, then by air is the best. So you can go to Gorakhpur, or you can go to Lucknow, or you can go to Delhi, and from Delhi you can actually drive down. But then again, as I said, on roads you have blocks, and then again a lot of outstation vehicles are asked to park outside, almost outskirts, and then they're asked to get in using local vehicles. So typically UP registration local vehicles is preferred as such. Okay, so we saw a lot of vehicles from Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Bihar, and a lot of different places are all blocked outside, well beyond outside Prayagraj city, and then they've been either walking or taking local transports, trucks and whatnot, right, to get inside Prayagraj city. So that's something which are the options, travel options. Okay, so expect the unexpected. Just ensure that you are having a mindset to rough it out. It cannot be a smooth journey definitely unless you are VVIP or VIP. Travel options, how do you want to go? Basically, you can do all the planning required and then you can do on your own and then travel on your own. Obviously, it requires a lot of planning and then local knowledge, right? And a little more adventurous kind of spirit to actually explore, and then also be prepared to, expect unexpected things to happen as well. But at the same time, let's say you want somebody else to do all the dirty job of, booking hotels, traveling the route plan, etc., etc., then obviously you have the travel agent or the travel operator who can do all these things. But at the same time, again, still something can go wrong. For example, in our case, we went through a travel agent, but then we found that our cab to the airport never turned up. So then we had to do a plan B of booking the a cab from the hotel, and then probably getting money reimbursed from the travel operator. So all those things are possible because there's a huge rush, and then a lot of things can go wrong. So that mentally you need to be in that state of mind to really go for this trip. That way you will really not have any issues and you will enjoy the trip as well, right? And anybody who's very very old or little weak especially, you might want to hold back and not take them with you, because it's going to involve a lot of walking. And and also early mornings, for example, there are places where they stop the traffic, and then you need to go by small auto rickshaws extra, and it can be terribly cold as well, right? So you need to take care of that and then see the profile of people who are traveling for this particular Kumbh, right? So a relatively fit body is required. At the same time, I've seen especially a lot of people on the wheelchair, and then a lot of old people walking miles together. So that's some devotion, really, right? Okay. So coming to food options, no issues at all. Obviously, you get a lot of hotels, dhabas, and roadside vendors who are offering food for a price, of course. And at the same time, you also have a lot of bandars, which is where free meals are being given by volunteers and Reliance, Ambanis, and so on and so forth. So that's not an issue. So until you reach Prayagraj, on the way you can find lots of hotels and dhabas and so on. So that's not an issue. But if you get stuck in traffic, for example, you saw the recent news where 300 kilometers of jam and 200 kilometers of jam, etc., then be prepared to have some food, fast food, energy food and noodles and those kind of things which you can quickly whip up and have a meal or two, right, on the way itself, because you might get stranded in a place where you don't have any shops, right? So you need to be ready with that. So have some food items with you which can sustain you for the journey, as well as to take care of all the roadblocks, etc. If you are with a tour operator, travel agent, obviously he will also make arrangements, but at the same time he can also go through experience. But then typically they carry all the food items with them in the bus and coach, etc., and they can do the cooking there itself, right? So that kind of takes care of the issue. But if you're going on your own, then plan out properly in terms of food items, fruits, chickies, and those kind of energy, high protein foods. Okay. Stay options, actually, on the way to Prayagraj, obviously you have a lot of hotels and other things which you can book. But once you reach Prayagraj, again you have hotels and tent option. Okay, so depend that you need to book in advance, preferably. Otherwise, it can be very very expensive. There are tents ranging from 100 rupees to 12,000 to 20,000 rupees per night as well, minus the GST. So you need to book in advance. Better to book in advance so that your peace of mind. But then in case if you are if you are going by tour operator, obviously there will be some booking which will be done by the operator as well, so that's not an issue, right? There are many hotels, a lot of hotels across different budgets, so there's no issue at all in terms of the accommodation, but you need to book in advance. That's what the key is. Similarly for the tents as well. Okay. Also the tents depends on which sector it is. So the closer to the Triveni Sangam, obviously it's much more costly, and then little away from the Triveni Sangam is much more cheaper, and so on. Then you need to actually go to the Triveni Sangam by boat or by auto or by foot and so on. Okay, there are different options. Just a little problem here. This is like like big cities, obviously we are all used to UPIs and credit cards, etc., but then carry enough cash with you, because a lot of places you don't have UPI or network is weak, or you might have them asking for cash specifically, right? So have cash with you enough so that you can sustain your journey. And so UPIs do work, and then credit cards, debit card do work, but then most of the places it's nice to have cash as well in your hand. Okay. Once you reach Prayagraj, obviously you can stay in a hotel or a tent, and then based on that, after that, to go to Triveni Sangam for the dip. For the bath, you need to come to the boating club, which is the Yamuna boating club near Kitganj area, near Allahabad Fort. It's a beautiful fort actually. So there you'll find hundreds and hundreds of boats waiting for with people haggling for the rates. So the typical rates were about 300 500 per head. That's what I heard. And then now these guys are charging 1,000 2,000 3,000 and whatever they can, right? So you need to really bargain hard to get a deal. And then you can also have an individual boat, or you can have a dedicated boat for yourself, or you can be sharing with somebody else as well. It depends. Choice is yours completely. And these guys ensure that you have a life jacket. That's important, because without that, don't even take the boat. Okay, even if it is cheaper. Then they will wait for you to finish the bath and then bring you back. Okay, so it's a nice feeling. A motorboat or a speedboat obviously will reach the Triveni Sangam much faster than the rowing boat, right? So it will help, especially if you're going midday kind of thing, because it can be pretty hot, right? So there probably the faster boats make a lot of sense, right? There are also helicopter ride, which is basically for a over your top view from of the Sangam and then the surroundings. So it's a joyride kind of thing, which is about 10 to 15 minutes. So you can see a helicopter landing and taking off from a building, on top of the building just near the boat club itself. It costs about 3,000 per head is what I understand. So it's a good thing in case if you want to just enjoy the top view from the helicopter. Okay. Then of course, as I said, there are multiple roadblocks and diversions, obviously, just to control the crowd. That is expected and understood. So you need to really plan. At the same time, depend on the locals. Okay, they are the best guys to advise you where the blockages are, or which is the route which you can take, so that you can avoid blockages. That's exactly what we did, such, because if you follow Google or other any map apps, they will typically, most of the time, they will direct you onto the faster routes, right? Which means you're on a highway or a super highway or a main highway, and those are all getting blocked regularly. So you need to check with the locals and see if you can take a detour, and then it might be a little more longer journey, but you will reach the destination, right? So that's something which you need to be prepared for mentally as well as physically. Okay, and a little bit of off-roading will help, and that's an experience definitely. Okay, same applies with the tour operators as well, because they are also no exception. They are I saw that a lot of buses, tour operators have got stuck as well for hours together on the main highway, and if it's hot, means you can imagine what kind of situation it is, right? So be prepared, ask the locals, they are the best guides. So local sightseeing and Triveni Sangam dip. So once you reach there, obviously Prayagraj, you need to, best is to park the car. If you have a personal car, park it outskirts of the city, and depend on local transport, rickshaws, also the apps like Rapido, Ola. You have cabs coming in, so use that, especially that way it will be hassle free. Otherwise, if you get stuck, and especially in UP and other places, the driving sense is crazy. It is, they keep continuously honking, and then the driving is so pathetic. You might have a car which will get definitely dense up on different sides, right? So it's better to park it on a hotel, outskirts of a hotel, and use your local transport to move around. That's the best option. Similarly, if you have a tour operator, then they have their own vehicle. Obviously, they will have a local vehicle which they can use to show you all the places, right? Be prepared to walk. We walk literally 10 to 15 kilometers every day, or it can be more as well. In fact, a lot of people have walked much more, especially on those Shai Snan days, the auspicious days when the bathing happens. And there were people during the Mauni Amavasya time, they walked almost 25 kilometers kind of thing, which is very, very less and normal as such. Okay, carry personal medicine, and also drink lots and lots of water to stay hydrated, because that can otherwise create havoc. Okay. Here are some of the pictures of my visit. I hope you will enjoy this, and hope these tips will be useful for you all. Write to me in case if you want any more information, and at the same time there are a number of videos as well of people who have already visited, so look at those as well, because every person's experience is unique. So you take that before you actually make a visit to Kumbh, and happy dip in Maha Kumbh. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we are walking on the pontoon bridge to cross over. So this is the scenery early in the morning. Look at the number of people here. lot of walking early in the morning, during the day, night. So now we are crossing the pontoon bridges. A lot of bridges are like there. Just look at this, tents all over the place. This is a rail ghat. So right now we are in a rail ghat, and all over the place, a lot of tents.
Turn right.
Tents. So different people have their own setup, tents. Ignore Yogeshwar, Sri Krishna Yog, Sadhanalaya. Just if you can see here. Okay, so you need to cross this. 28. ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ pontoon bridges ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. Early morning, beautiful moon on top. Great. So all full bridges, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ bridges ಇದೆ, ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. This is the view on top. Literally it's like a city. ಹಾಂ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ಹಂಗೆ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇವಾಗ. ನಾನು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಹಂಗೇನೆ. ಹಾಂ, ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹುಡುಗ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಗೆದ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ಯಾ, ಮಹಾ ಕುಂಭ್ ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಂ, see, some tents are different, little more luxurious it is. ಕಾಣ್ತದಾ? ಇದು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಂ, ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲ IRCTC ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸಖತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ವಾವ್, ಸೂಪರ್. ಅದೇ ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 13 ಹಾಕಾರ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ. ದ ಲೋಡ್ ದ ಫ್ಲಾಗ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 23 or 24 ಬ್ರಿಡ್ಜಸ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಇದು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಟೆಂಟ್ಗಳು.
ಇದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಓಡಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ನಾವು?
ಇದು ಫುಲ್ ಅದೇ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಬಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. These entire sectors have been actually configured in Google Map, so people can navigate. In fact, that's the way we came also. This is amazing. It is. Wow. Going to the boat club. Just look at the chaos. Wow, my God. Just see the amount of people going in this place. Just vehicles ಎಲ್ಲ full.
ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಬರಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಬರಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ಲ.
Okay, so now we're going to the boating area. So here's a boat club. So we're going to the boating club. This is the boating area. Now we have seen all the boats here. Okay. So we engaged one boat and we'll go by the manual boat. There is also what do you have, motor boats. ಸರಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ದ ಫೈನಲ್?
ಅದೇ 5,000 ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದು
ಸರಿ ಸರಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಬೇಗ ಬಂದು ಸರ್.
So
ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು
so there are a lot of boats waiting here. Okay. So they charge 5,000 for 6 people now. I believe yesterday it was some 12,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees, whatever it is. So that's a helicopter service here, and then it just takes off, goes around this bridge, railway bridge, and then across for a top view, and then it comes back. I believe yesterday rate of 3,000. I believe some 3,000 rupees. I believe they charge. So you can see now he's again taking off the building. Right. So then it takes off. That's a railway bridge there. So he goes on a quick round across this viewpoint. So he goes all the way, and then the viewpoint is somewhere on that side. Okay, so the viewpoint is here. So that's a viewpoint. So he goes all the way there. This is another bridge, hanging bridge. Right. So now he's going there, and that's a view. That's a viewpoint there. That's a viewpoint there. So this guy is actually going around.
Everything was fine. हर हर महादेव, बम बम बोले भैया अंदर आ जाइए 5 मिनट। अरे यार आप अंदर हो तो भाई चलेगा, भाई नहीं लड़ेगा।
Now Nandagopal sir is going to have a holy dip. Now Nandagopal sir is making a dip.